put slop in a bucket and your whole family eats out of the trough like a family of pigs. That's a weird thing to do, Jim. You're not my best friend because I want a friend who knows how to wield a sword like that.
Hey everybody, I don't have cancer, but if I did, I would totally one-up my friends with it. What's up? It's the Jubal Show. Thank you very much for checking it out. I'm your host, Jubal Fresh. The Jubal Show drops every single Wednesday. If you don't know what that is, it's the day between Tuesday and Thursday. I'm not sure what calendar you're operating off of. Maybe there's some weird calendar out there that you found that doesn't have a Wednesday. It probably doesn't even have a Tuesday and Thursday then. Okay, it drops on Wednesday if you're operating on the same calendar that I am. Look on Wednesday, that's when it comes out. I also do another podcast with my hot ass wife, Alex Fresh. That's called Fresh Till Death. That comes out every single Monday. I'm not going to get into the whole day thing again because that got very confusing for you, not for me. Because I know when Monday and Wednesday are. Make sure you subscribe to those. Please rate and review them as well. Rate, review. If you're already tired of this podcast, fine. Go ahead. Turn it off. Don't turn it off. But if you want to turn it off. But rate, review. Rate, review. You're not even listening now. But if you're currently listening to this, now listen to the whole thing and then rate, review. Also, daily content on my Patreon, patreon.com/JubalFresh. And those sound clips that you heard at the beginning of the show, if those made absolutely no sense to you, that's from the last podcast. It's a teaser. It's supposed to, tease you a little bit to go listen to the other one. If it didn't do its job, shit. But please, listen to all the podcasts. And I'll also tell you why I said if I had cancer, I would totally one-up my friends with it in a little bit. First, I want to start by just saying, it happened again. It happened one more time. Last week's podcast, I talked about how one of my neighbors, who isn't actually a neighbor, she lives across the street and like houses down, stopped by and was talking to my hot ass wife, Alex Fresh. And I was watching from the window because kind of antisocial. Don't want to get to know you. And she was like, we're going to make you some cookies, but we didn't make any cookies. Didn't have time to make cookies. And it went off on a rant about that. Well, the other day, we got one of those doorbells, like those Ring doorbells. It's got a camera on it and you can talk through it. And we're driving home, and then the doorbell thing goes off on the phone. And we're like, oh, somebody's at the door. That's weird, because we don't really talk to people. Who would be at our door right now? If it's an Amazon delivery person, why are you ringing the doorbell? Leave the package. So we knew it was more than that. And then we pull up, and there was a family standing outside of the door. And my wife, being the feisty person that she can be sometimes, rolls down the window and goes, can I help you? And then they go, hey, we're your neighbors from right next door, and we just wanted to say hi. And then she was like, oh, shit, now I have to be nice. And she's like, oh, great, yeah, great. And they gave us some kind of like chocolate pound cakey thing. Don't want your pound cake. Apparently they aren't listening to my podcast because they would have known that the only thing I want from them is to know that if the house is on fire, they'll do something about it. And they're like, you guys got to come over and have some tea and get to know us better. And we both said, yeah, on the outside. But on the inside, we said, no. Hell no. We're never getting tea. We're never going to have tea with you. I'm also not going to eat your chocolate pound cakey thing. For a couple reasons. One, I don't see the inside of your house. And two, I've been eating too much of that stuff, and my stomach it feels like a bowling ball at all times. I'm at the point now where in the morning when I get ready, I'm looking through my closet. Okay, like a teenager, like a teenage girl who's pregnant but doesn't want to tell her parents yet that she's pregnant, and she's starting to get a little bit of a bump. You knew that girl in high school who all of a sudden, like, she would dress fine or even hot, and then all of a sudden started coming to school with like baggy sweatshirts on all the time, like a baggy hoodie, like an extra large hoodie, a little bit too big for her, kept wearing it over and over again, looked like shit all the time. Like, this was the girl that always would come to school like ready to go, makeup on, hair done, and then all of a sudden she starts showing up to school in an extra large Florida Gators hoodie, and her hair's all matted. She's not doing her makeup anymore, and you're like, oh shit, she's pregnant, but doesn't want anybody to see the bump just yet because she hasn't told her parents. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing in the morning now before work. Because I like to work out. I typically work out 5 to 6 days a week. Don't judge me, because even when I am in good shape, it doesn't look like I work out, because my jeans, not the jeans I'm wearing, which are tight right now, by the way, and I can feel them pressing on the bottom of my stomach, which is kind of hanging over. My jeans, the ones on my body, are from Ross. Have crappy jeans. Thanks a lot, birth family. Therefore, I can work out way more than the normal person, and it doesn't show. Like, it shows a little bit. Like, it's not like right now, but it's like, you know those dudes that can lift a paper clip at work? That's all they do for working out. You see them and they're just ripped. I got a buddy like that. He's just ripped all the time. I'm like, what are you doing for working out? And he's like, I do like 10 push-ups in the morning before I leave. 10 push-ups in the morning before you leave. That's it? Wow. I worked out for 7 hours yesterday. And you know what I got? A beer belly. And guess what? I don't even drink beer because it hurts my stomach. Somehow I have a beer belly. But yeah, these guys are just like, what do you do for exercise? Well, at work, I paperclip a lot of things, so I'm constantly going like this. I'm constantly just grabbing a paperclip and putting it on paper, and that's why I have a boulder for a bicep. Those are the guys that the jeans in their body, they come from Nordstrom, or they got Gucci or some shit. I don't know. My jeans from Ross. I work out a lot. Doesn't really show. But anyway, that's my morning ritual right now, is digging through the closet looking for a hoodie that's a little bit large so I can hide my belly, just like those girls in high school that don't want to tell their parents they're pregnant yet. That's me. Hi. So the podcast today, what's going on in the news? Well, Nipsey Hussle got shot. Nipsey Hussle got shot, and of course, everybody's talking about it, including me right now. Weird. That's weird. No, it's not. Everybody's talking about it. And like when I'm recording this right now, as of right now, when I'm recording this, they just apprehended the alleged shooter of Nipsey Hussle in Bellflower, California, which if you don't know where Bellflower is, it's kind of between like Compton and Long Beach. So they got him there, and I guess he was trying to check himself into a mental health hospital, and they're the ones who called the cop or something. I mean, all the details right now are kind of cloudy. But they caught the guy who allegedly shot Nipsey Hussle. And everybody has been talking about what a horrible thing this is that Nipsey Hussle got shot. And guess what? I agree. I'm not saying it's not. Anybody who dies before they're supposed to, unless you believe in God, and then God has a plan for everything, then he was supposed to die that way. You know, like every time anything bad happens, people always go, well, it's just part of God's plan. And I'm like, well, maybe God needs like a personal assistant or something who could say, hey, God, could we maybe, I don't know, like instead of giving this guy's kid cancer so he learns a lesson in selflessness, we could have him learn it from a movie? Let's just have him watch Marley and Me instead of having him go through some horrible shit. God needs a personal assistant. But if you believe in God and you believe in God's plan, then that's the way he was supposed to die. But I I don't subscribe to that. I think he died before his time. I think a lot of people die before their time. And anytime anybody gets taken before they're supposed to, anytime anybody dies of something other than natural causes at the age of 96, it's sad. It doesn't make it more sad to me that it's a celebrity. What makes it sad to me, though, is the way that it's being reported on and the way that people are talking about it. Because it hasn't opened up the next conversation. Not a new conversation, but the next conversation. Everybody, every news source, every celebrity that's talking about Nipsey Hussle being shot just focuses on him and how sad it is that he was taken. Yes, once again, agree. I agree. So don't comment saying that I'm heartless and that I don't think it's a big deal. I do think it's a big deal. A lot of people didn't even know who he was. Unless you were into rap music, you might not know who he was, because the mainstream, especially media, and people who just listen to music casually, they don't really listen to Nipsey Hussle. They listen to Kanye, Drake, Jay-Z, people that get played on the radio all the time. And not like on hip-hop radio, but on mainstream radio. So they probably didn't even know who he was. But something like this happens, and then they all jump on board acting like they knew who he was. They read about him and they go, wow, he was such a great songwriter, and he was doing so many amazing things in his community, and he was a businessman and all that. And I respect the Nipsey Hussle. I respect his hustle. He was a dude who came up in the hood in LA. He was a member of the Rolling 60s. He started a rap career, and then he was branching out into business, and then he was starting to become a leader in his community, and I think that's dope. The one thing that I know for sure was that he was a gang member in South Central. A gang member in Los Angeles. I know that for sure because he admittedly was one. And the dude that shot him, reportedly, also same thing. I think that this is an opportunity, though, for people to start the real conversation. It's an opportunity for people to take Nipsey's passing, Nipsey's murder, and then start the real conversation. But I haven't seen anybody do that. I haven't seen any celebrities do it, because all they do is whenever a celebrity dies, this is really annoying, by the way. Whenever any celebrity dies, whoever it is, all the news stories that you see, like all the clickbait online is like, celebrities react to so-and-so's death. And I do the same shit. I click on it and then I read their tweets. What are they going to say? What kind of shocking thing is Cher going to say about, I don't know, who died recently other than him? I don't know. What kind of shocking thing is Cher going to say about Nipsey Hussle dying? Of course, she's going to say what everybody says. It's sad. Shouldn't have happened. We lost a legend. The art world lost somebody. He was a businessman, a leader. It's really sad, blah, blah, blah. Yes, it is. Don't be the person who goes, it doesn't fucking matter. Because then you're an asshole, Cher. Don't be an asshole, Cher. Cher, don't be a dick, is the whole point of the podcast today. Cher, I know you're like 7,000 years old. Is she still alive? Is Cher still alive? Yeah, she's still alive. But don't be a dick, Cher. Okay, that's not the point of the podcast, but you get what I'm saying. It's always, celebrities react to so-and-so's death. I don't care. I don't care what the reaction is. I know the reaction. Well, I need to see a tweet from Rihanna to know that people are sad. It just shows how obsessed we are with celebrities. Yeah, somebody died. Somebody famous died. A celebrity died. I don't give a shit what Bradley Cooper has to say about it. I don't even care what his family has to say about it. I'm a human being, and I know that it's messed up. It goes back to that whole celebrities. They're just like us. They are just like us. So let's stop giving them more credit than is due. And let's stop reacting like it's something crazy when one of them dies, because guess what? They're humans and they die. And it's kind of weird that instead of talking about the situation and instead of talking about the person that died, our celebrity-obsessed pop culture world is more worried about what other celebrities have to say. And some of these celebrities didn't even know him, but they tweet because they want people to read their tweet. They want retweets. They want to say, hey, I was in a green room one time with the guy. I didn't even have a conversation, but oh man, I miss you, King. They're capitalizing. They're capitalizing on somebody's death in order to get some retweets, in order to get in one of those BuzzFeed news stories that's like, celebrities react. Celebrities are people, unless they're maniacs and murderers, which they can be, which celebrities, by the way, can be, because people, nobody's going to say anything heartless about anybody dying, especially if you're a celebrity, because if you're a celebrity, you're a brand, and you can't ruin your brand. So that's annoying. But nobody's taking the opportunity to state some obvious truths. They're talking about Nipsey Hussle, a rapper who was pretty good. I liked him. I think he was like the best. I think he was like, I thought he was good. I liked him. And I'm from LA. I grew up in LA. And I love any artist that comes from the streets of LA, because that's home for me. I'm one of the rare people that isn't like from Wisconsin that moved there to act. I'm from there. So that's a big deal to me. But nobody is taking the opportunity to point out some very serious, very obvious things. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to take the celebrity off of it. I've talked about this before. In my Michael Jackson podcast, I talked about this before. If you take the celebrity off of things and you just state what happened, it's more impactful. Because people are in an uproar that someone who makes music died. He was doing good things in his community, and he was trying to be a leader in his community. That is dope. That's good. But at the end of the day, he was making music. It doesn't make anybody better than you or me. Because somebody can tell a joke or write a movie or make a song that makes you dance, it doesn't make them different. It makes them different. I guess it makes them talented. But everybody has talents. There's some dope-ass CPAs out there that are fucking crushing Excel spreadsheets. I could never do that. That's a talent. Everybody has talents. A talent doesn't make you better than anybody else. Now, there are some people that change the world. There are some people that are working to change the world. And if they die early, yeah, that's sad. And then he was working on it. In his world, he was working on it. And he died early, and it's sad. But let's take the celebrity off it. Let's read it like it was a headline in a newspaper. It wouldn't read Nipsey Hussle, rapper, dead at 33. If he wasn't a celebrity, that headline in the LA Times or CNN, fake news, sorry about that, Fox News, fake news. All fake news. It's all fake news. Unless you get your news from newsy.org world. But let's take the celebrity off it and read that what would that headline be if it wasn't him? It would be gang member shot in South LA. That's exactly what it would read. It wouldn't say his name. It wouldn't say anything about him. It wouldn't be a headline. It would be on, well, nobody's reading newspapers anymore unless you're 95. So if you're 95 and you're checking out the podcast, wow. How'd you do it? Good work. I mean, I'm impressed. If you're 95 and you're listening to this podcast and you're reading the newspaper and you're like, hey, I read the newspaper. What is this guy talking about? This is a podcast. This is like FM radio was when AM radio was big. It's internet, but it's kind of radio now. That's what it is. Just telling you that to say congratulations on being able to work the internet. I hope you know how to attach an attachment to an email. You probably do because you found this podcast 90-year-old who's reading a newspaper. But it would be on the back page somewhere. It'd be a blip. It would say, gang member shot in South LA. That's it. Because I hate to tell the truth. No, I don't. I like to tell the truth. The truth is, Nipsey Hussle was a statistic. Nipsey Hussle is a statistic. Every single day in the hood, people die the same way. He was a celebrity, but it doesn't make him not a statistic. And that right there is the conversation that needs to be had. Mourn him, pay your respects, talk about his music and how you liked it, but move the conversation and the narrative over to the fact that he was a statistic. And think about that for a second, the gravity of that. And now is a better time than ever because you have NPR's attention. You have mainstream attention on a problem that has been going on in those neighborhoods forever. Well, not forever because the neighborhoods haven't been around forever, but since they started or since they morphed into what they are or since the 70s when gangs really started in LA. But even before that, there was stuff going on, which is why the gangs started. But now you have national attention and the attention of places like NPR. But their story and the story of the regular news media isn't going to be, hey, this shit happens all the time in those neighborhoods. Their story is going to be somebody on NPR speaking in that very pretentious, soft, sleepy voice that they do going, Nipsey Hussle, if you don't know much about him, he was an activist in his community, and it's just so sad because this thing normally doesn't happen to somebody of his stature in those neighborhoods. Yeah, it does. It does. He was a gang member still in the hood, hanging out, and he got shot. And he got shot by apparently somebody that he was beefing it with, calling him a rat or something. I don't know. Like I said, it's all cloudy, but if you look at the reports, apparently he had beef with this dude, and he was, talking about maybe he was calling him a rat or asking if he was ratted out somebody, which is the lowest thing you can be in those neighborhoods, because don't snitch. Don't snitch. I was talking to my wife, Alex, about it last night, and she's like, well, the guys in the hospital that like will make a recovery and stuff, like they'll tell who shot him if they know. And I was like, nah, they won't. They're not going to say because they don't want to be a snitch. They'll say they don't know who it was, and they'll tell the cops they don't know who it was, and then they'll handle it themselves because that's the way it works. And if you're judging me because I'm a white dude talking about this, you don't know anything about me. You don't know where I grew up. You don't know the friends that I've had. You don't know my experiences. Okay? Skin color doesn't mean that I haven't had friends or been in situations or lived in areas there and have seen the same thing. So no, you're not going to be in the hospital getting shot and the cops are going to come in and you're like, I don't know anything about it. I don't know. And they're going to be like, come on, just tell us. We know you know. And you say, no, I don't know. But in the back of your head, you do know. And then you're going to get out of the hospital and you're going to get somebody to ride for you. Well, ride for him, but ride with you. You know what I mean? Probably you don't know what I mean. Maybe some people watching this know what I mean. Now I'm all tongue-tied. Get back on track. What I'm saying is, if you take the celebrity off it, you have a gang member talking to another dude, calling him a rat. He comes back and gets shot. It happens every single day in our country, in those neighborhoods, and in any neighborhood, not even just in LA, but in any neighborhood that there's poverty, that there's kids who don't have a solid family, where there's kids who the fathers have left and now they have to find community in something else. They have to go, all right, well, I don't really know what a family is, but those dudes over there, they look tight, man. They look like a family. I'm going to go. I want to hang out with those guys. I want to do what they do. They protect each other. Oh, I live in a neighborhood where I have to fear being shot every day. I'm going to go be safe. I'm going to go get safe. I'm going to go with those guys because they can protect me and I will protect them. And I will do anything to protect this little area right here because there's people all around here trying to come in and take what we have. I will protect this. Any area in the country where there's gangs or even just people who are where there's poverty and people are fearing of being robbed and everything else. This happens all the time. It's not a random thing. I saw Rihanna tweet this. Celebrities react. Remember? Rihanna tweeted something she started it with this though. She said, it doesn't make any sense. The sad part is, Rihanna, it does make sense. It makes perfect sense. He was a gang member in the hood and he got shot. That makes the most sense. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it good. But it does make sense. That's what people need to be talking about. They need to be talking about the fact that this happens every single day. And you don't hear about it because you're in your world doing whatever. You're driving to work and you're stopping off at Starbucks and you're getting a latte or some green tea. Sorry about that. I'm a little parched, so I'm going to sip my tea right now, which is from Starbucks. And then you're posting it on your Instagram so everybody knows that you stopped off and got your morning coffee on the way to work. And you're not thinking about the nameless, faceless people that are being shot and that are being killed in neighborhoods throughout our country every single day. And you're not thinking about it because it doesn't affect you. But now you're thinking about it because it's a celebrity. And that's what I mean when I say now is the perfect time to start that conversation. I'm doing this on my podcast right now. And I just started the podcast. I don't even know how many subscribers I have. I don't even know how many people listen. If you do listen, rate and review. I'm posting this video on YouTube. It might get 100-something views. It's a slow build because I just started this thing. So I don't really have in this platform right now, the podcast and YouTube, I don't really have the audience that a CNN or a Fox News or an NPR has to move the conversation from celebrity to the normal people. I would love it if I did. I would love it if I had the opportunity to say to the world, hey, what happened to him happens every day. Hey, he was a celebrity. Doesn't make it different. He's a statistic, and that's sad. What about the nameless, faceless people that are shot every day on the streets of LA, on the streets of Detroit, streets of New York, streets of wherever, Chicago, all over the world? But I'm talking specifically about America. What about those people? And it's weird to me because I grew up in LA in the late 80s, early 90s, in the Inglewood area. And I spent a lot of time in Compton and Watts with my friends. And it was scary back then. And I know that gang violence is kind of making a resurgence now. And I feel like it has a lot to do with the fact that you have some people, not Nipsey, like he was what he said he was. If you listen to what he said and you look at the people who knew him and talked about him, he was what he said he was. He obviously was what he said he was. He said he was a gangster. He grew up in that area. He was a rolling 60 and he got smoked. He was who he said he was. But then you have other people who get mainstream, who are big on Instagram, who are wannabes, and you have people who aren't even wannabe, like rappers and stuff, talking about blood this, blood that, blah, 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 gang, 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 gang. And now they're glorifying it, and so now I feel like because of that, gang violence is making a resurgence. And it was a scary time back then. And I mean, it's always been scary, and it should always be scary. But nobody talks about the fact, at least not mainstream. In those communities, people that are involved in that lifestyle, or people that have been involved in that lifestyle and got away, they know it. It's just like the police brutality thing, the police violence, right? When that all came out, like because of the internet, when all of these videos started surfacing, I was like, yeah, it's just been going on forever. But it's awesome that people are talking about it now. It's great that the internet has provided that so that people can see what's going on. So hopefully we can stop it. But don't just stop it for a celebrity. Stop it for all the people that have to worry about their safety day to day in these areas. I mean, we have to worry about our safety day to day no matter what, anywhere, because people are crazy. And they're not even crazy. They're suffering. There's mental health issues. You can think of any motivation on earth for somebody to kill another person and they'll do it. So we have to walk around a little bit nervous every day, and people are like, it's so much more dangerous than it used to be. It's not. It's not more dangerous than it used to be. It's just accessible now and we can see it. So what about all the people that you don't hear about? Why can't we move the conversation onto those people? It should no longer just be a headline, 33-year-old gang member shot in South LA. 33-year-old gang member shot in Boyle Heights, which is East LA if you don't know. We shouldn't just be talking about these things when it happens to a celebrity. Because this is going to be big for like a week, and then it's going to go away, and people are still going to be dying. But nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it because these people aren't making music and they aren't expressing their talents in the real world. But they got a lot of talent and they got killed. Some of the smartest people I've ever known in my life have been gang members. Brilliant. But they used their intellect in the wrong way because nobody helped them. Nobody fostered them. Nobody mentored them. Nobody was down there trying to help. What about the people that aren't even actively involved in banging? What about the 7-year-old that's walking home from school and gets hit with a stray bullet? What about the elderly person that was walking down the street wearing the wrong wrong colored shoelaces and gets shot because he was wearing the wrong color in the wrong neighborhood? It happens. It happens more than you think. I went and just did a quick search to see how many gang-related shootings there were in the past week in LA. And there's way too many names to list. Michael Sean Stevenson, 40, shot, South LA. Justin Antonio Montes, 25, shot, San Pedro, California, which is, if you don't know, it's next to like Long Beach and stuff. It's by there's a port over there. Jason Aguilar Montes, his brother, 24, shot. They were both shot together in a drive-by. Takana Fatima Toka, 38, female, shot, Lamert Park. Elmore Orlando Chavez, 37, shot. Jose Leon, shot. Monica Marie Abarca, 29, shot, Compton. Samantha Bustos Vital, 15, shot, Compton. Frank Noel Gavon, 34, shot, South Central LA. Davian Sean Oates, 45, shot, South Central LA. David Jesus Rios, 27, shot, Boyle Heights. Jasiel Ruiz, shot, East LA. Alan Thomas, 17, shot, South Central. And that's not even a full week. And that's not even all the names. I just read all those. I didn't call it off the top of my head. I wrote it down and I attached it to the tripod that I'm using to shoot this for YouTube. But that's a lot of names, and that's not even all of them in the last week. So Nipsey Hussle was a statistic, and he shouldn't have been. And neither should those people have been. How do we solve it? I don't know. I have no idea how you solve it. But I know there's somebody who does, and I know there's probably a group of people who can figure it out. And I hope that people can take Nipsey Hussle's shooting, Nipsey Hussle's murder, and turn it into a conversation of how do you stop gang violence in America. Not even just in the streets in LA. I talk about LA because that's where I'm from and that's what I know, and I know those areas. I can drive around anywhere. I know it without GPS. I can drive around anywhere in LA and I know how to get everywhere. I know those areas. When I see the streets named in stories about this, I'm like, I know exactly where that is. So that's why I talk about there. But Chicago, it's the murder capital of our country. We need to do something. And if I had done more prep work before the podcast, I could have maybe offered a solution. But it's a very complicated problem, and I get kind of lazy with prep work. So I don't have a solution, but I do know that we need to stop only reacting like things are an outrage when they happen to celebrities. We should start acting like things are an outrage when outrageous shit happens to anybody. Nobody should have to fear for their life every day, anywhere. I don't think we'll never not have to do that. I mean, there is no solution for that. Humans have been killing humans since there were humans. Animals kill animals. It's just the way it works. But there are things we can do to stop senseless violence. There are things we can do to teach people that this is not the answer. And maybe after the podcast, I'll sit down and try to write out some solutions. But probably not, because I'm lazy. And I just wanted to make that point. Hopefully somebody hears this or watches this that is way smarter than I am and goes, oh, I know a couple things that we can do that'll help. And I'll go, sweet. I'm glad I inspired that. But probably not. I'll probably go back to business as usual. And people will forget that this shit happens until another famous person gets killed. And then they'll just talk about the famous person and not the actual problem. That's probably what will happen. I think. Oh. I know that I got serious again. And I apologize for that if you didn't want serious from me. And I started out the podcast by saying, hey, everybody, if I had cancer, I would one up my friends. Because I was thinking about it. I was thinking about social media and how people post on social media. And I saw a post the other day from somebody who was like, they were sick. I don't think it was cancer, it was something else. I don't know what it was, but they were sick. But like every post of theirs was just over. It was like, I'm trying to find a way to sensitively say this. Every single post of theirs was like a post that was designed just to get likes. And like, I guarantee you that there's like people out there, like jealous people, like on social media that are mad because their friends are getting more likes than them. They're like, oh my God, Jessica's such a bitch because she's only dating that new guy because like he's kind of popular. So he gets so many likes. Like, I should get way more likes than her. That's like looking at her friend's profile like, oh my God, are you serious? You guys? Did you guys see this? Jessica just said that she has like lymphoma or whatever. She's totally going to get more likes than me. I just had my hair did. I need to get cancer so I can get more likes. Oh my God. She's complaining about her cancer again. Oh, this is so annoying. Like, did nobody notice that I just got a new spray tan? I wish I get cancer. Because then I would totally get more likes than her. All right. That was the Jubal Show podcast. Thank you very much for listening. If you could think of any way to help what I just talked about, feel free to hit me up and offer a suggestion or offer, I have no idea. I'm out of gas. I'm out of gas right now. Not really. I'm not out of gas, actually. I'm out of gas mentally. I'm drained mentally, but in my stomach, because I've been eating a bunch of shit, grabbing those extra large hoodies out of my closet so I can hide my baby bump. Plenty of gas in there, but I'm a shy pooper. And my wife and the kids are about to be home soon. And so I'm probably not going to poop until the morning when they're asleep. Because for some reason, I don't like it when people know I'm pooping. I can't figure it out. Because I don't care when they poop. I have no problem. No problem. They can poop whenever they want. Go for it. Go for it. Have fun. Poop whenever you want. But I like hold it in. I'll have gas and I'll be bloaty and I just won't do it because I don't want them to know I'm pooping. I'm like, I want to be like a poop ninja and hide it, and so it's making me gassy. So no, I'm not out of gas. I got a bunch of gas in here and I got to finish the podcast so I can try to poo before they get home. So I'm finishing it now in hopes that I can do that before they get here so I don't have to hold it in all night until tomorrow morning when I silently try to sneak it out before my morning shower while everybody's asleep. Thank you for listening to The Jubal Show. Make sure you rate and review, positive review. Just write positive review in the reviews. That would be dope. Listen to this every single Wednesday. Fresh Till Death podcast with my hot ass wife, Alex Fresh, comes out on Mondays. Rate, review that as well. Daily content on the Patreon. And I will see you later. Bye-bye.